You're right, guys, I'm back with the annual Cross Climate 2 performance in snow video. Last video was about 30,000 kilometers ago in January. It's January again in Queensland, we've got snow. So this video, how do they perform after 60,000 kilometers? I'm going to do two parts to this test. The first is sort of average conditions, which are mainly icy. We are on, if you're interested, we're between a town called Polygyros and Galatista. This is the old abandoned road, so it's not been treated at all. So the conditions are snowy, icy. Well, basically, as you can see, a bit of snow on top of some ice. It's quite slippy. So we're going to go along this road, see what it's like. Like I said, completely untreated. And then we will go over the mountain pass that was in the original Cross Climate 2 video, the very first one, probably 2 years ago now, 3 years ago. So that's that. Let's get going and we'll see what it's like in these conditions. So we're not the first people down here today, obviously, as you can see. Looks like there's been at least one car. Anyway, first impressions with these Cross Climate 2. I've got chains on in the car, so hopefully I don't need them, but I do. If I do, I have them, just in case you were worrying. So first impressions, I don't really have any issues at all with going over this snow and ice. The traction is quite good. I don't hear the wheels spinning up, the tyres spinning up. I mean, if I put my foot into it, then yeah, it spins up all right. But just driving normally, it seems fine. I suppose a better test actually would have been to come up this road. But we'll have that mountain pass in a bit, so that'll be that test. Front end feels quite good. I mean, I turn the wheel again, I don't feel really much slipping with it. It tracks where I want it to go. Got a mixture here of ice and slush. But the main thing for me is the car is going where I point it, so that's great. The abandoned part of the road, hopefully this is coming out because it's blowing a bit where I am here. So we're on the mountain. So for that abandoned road, it was alright. It was no problem, but I think it wasn't that snowy there, it wasn't that icy, so no problem really. We've come on to the mountain pass bit now, and you can see that this road has not been treated at all. Well, it had been until about a kilometre before, but now we're on to this. And honestly, I'm not feeling too confident, guys. I am a bit worried, because this is a very narrow road, and there's nowhere really to turn around if I can't make it to the top. I've come up this little bit so far, and I've actually gone a bit further up, but it is not happy, the car. I've had to come back down, and I think the issue is it's not snow that we're driving on. Apologies for the camera angle. It's icy, and I've come up to this little ramp up here, and it hasn't gone up. But if you can just see the ground, it's fucking icy. It's not snow at all, and I think this is where you probably need change. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I've just, like I said, I've gone up there, and it's refused to go any further. It's like it's probably the steepest bit there, to be fair. but I don't think it's coping with this ice. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm a bit worried. I'm not. Let me see if I can come into the come out of the wind a bit here for you. So I'm not really sure what to do here. I think honestly, I did try it, but it's just ice, and I don't think it's going to do it. I mean, I went up there. I'm not sure what I would do differently to what I've just done. Honestly, I think I'm going to call it there. Like I said, the road is narrow. If I get caught up there, I'm a bit screwed, because I will have to reverse it all the way back down. I'm not in the greatest place to turn it round here, but this is probably going to be the widest bit for a while. And yeah, I think I'm going to call it, guys. Like I said, I just went up there. I don't really know what I would do differently. I mean, it was second gear. I had a relative decent bit of speed up, but it just spun up. I think the ice is just too much. If you can see that, it's just skidding across the surface. It's ice. I think this, I'm not sure what normal snow tyres would do. Like proper dedicated snow tyres, maybe they could do something in this. But I think these are all season, as we know, Cross Climate 2s. They're not a dedicated snow tyre. And I think when it's just like this, it's so icy, I think this is where we found the limit of them. I think ice is not what they can do, you know. I do have chains in the car. I don't really like putting chains on. They're a bit dirty. But you can see where I've come up here, this is quite steep. And it's got up there okay. But you go around this corner and it gets even steeper, and maybe it's even icier as you get a bit higher. And you know, it's not happy, the tyres. So a bit of a failed mission, guys. Maybe I'm a bit of a pussy. But like I said, it's not really snow that we're driving in, and it's not even slush that we're driving in. It is bloody ice. So I think it's fair enough. Like I said, 60,000 kilometers. I think if this was snow, I think no problem. I think it would go up no issues. I don't have any reason to believe it wouldn't, but you know, ice is something different altogether. So maybe I'm making excuses, but yeah. So all in all, what is the conclusion after 60,000 kilometers? Are the Cross Climate 2 still as good as they were? Yeah, I think they're alright. I mean, maybe they're not as good as they were. Like I said, this at the 30,000 kilometer one, that maybe they'd lost a bit of an edge, and maybe I'd say they've lost a little bit of an edge after another 30,000 kilometers. But considering where we've come up, I mean, we've come up this, all right, and it's just got, you know, too steep and too icy, and they failed there. But I think if you had normal tyres on them, you know, all season, that are don't have that extra bit of snow capability, I don't think there's any way would have even made it up to here, you know. So yeah, the Cross Climate 2 I think is a good option for snow. But you know, when you get into icy conditions, I think, you know, maybe change is the only solution. As I said, I don't know what dedicated snow tyres are like, but for ice, you know, obviously it's a bit much for them, I think. So as I said, I'm pussying out. I'm going to turn it around here. I think, well, I'm going to try and turn it around here. I don't want to get stuck if I can help it. Maybe I'm going in the wrong direction here, to be fair. It's a bit of an Austin Powers here, I think. I think this is a bad thing about driving in the snow, is if someone was coming now, touch wood there isn't, and they see me in the middle of the road, especially if they're coming up and they're on the limit, this is the last thing you want to see, is a car stopped in the road. So I'll just go back down here just to show you how far it's come up so far anyway in the condition. So this is not as steep as that bit up there where I have to turn it round, but maybe you can hear how crusty it is. You know, it's proper icy, and it's made it up quite a long way. I probably reversed it back 400 meters and it got up there. Well, obviously it didn't get up there easily because it stopped, but it's come up there relatively easy, and it was just really the steepness of that drag there. Unfortunately I didn't get on camera, but you know, I think it's more than acceptable for it. Again, if you can hear that crushing sound, it's not a flat road that we're coming up here by any stretch. So I think for what they are, for an all-season tyre with a bit of snow capability, I think they're, you know, I still think they're amazing after 60,000 kilometers. But obviously there is a limit to what you can expect them to do. I mean, I could put snow chains on it, guys, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the video. Where is the limit of the Cross Climate 2 is really what I wanted to do in the video. What can you reasonably expect from them? I think it, you know, for this now, I think in normal tyres, forget about it. But these are for relatively, as long as it's not crazy steep, I mean, they do a good job compared to normal tyres. And when I was reversing down that road then, where it came to a stop, I mean, yes, I still had braking, a good amount of braking power when I was reversing. So even though you could see like how icy it was, they were still giving grip, but it was just too much for it to have, you know, to be able to pull itself up that steep gradient as well. You know, it could hold itself there, but you know, to pull itself up, it was just a step too far. But again, I think it's more than acceptable for what it is. I think if you need something with the ice that can deal with it, like it's important to you, you're not doing it on a jolly, for example, then you know, you're gonna get your snow tires basically, I think. But this is probably maybe the only day of snow we're gonna get this year, and for the one day of snow, and you're on main roads as well, then I think, you know, you're gonna be fine, probably. Obviously I can't know for sure what you're gonna be fine with, but for relatively dodgy conditions like this, the Cross Climates, you know, they do a job. I mean, this is not as steep as the where we just failed, and it comes up here absolutely no issues at all. If you want to see the other Cross Climate 2 videos I've done, I'll put a link to the playlist at the end of the video. Maybe you can see it now. I'm linked to some other playlists for other product reviews. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. Keeps me motivated. Look after yourselves. Have a safe winter, and I'll see you again in the next video.